When will I get married? When will I get a job? When will I reach to a point where I want to reach? The mind is always in rush, and so every time the person wants everything to happen as soon as possible. The mind wants everything right now. But that is not how God works. That is not how life is. And there is a beautiful story that I am going to share with you all. The story of Buddha and Ananda. Like many of us, Ananda, Buddha's disciple, was also a prisoner of his mind. And the mind is highly demanding. The mind is restless. Ananda was also restless. From last 4 hours, he had been walking through the forest and small villages, and yet the town that they were headed for seemed too far. Buddha was walking swiftly and Ananda was following the master. It was getting hot with the blazing summer sun. Unable to control himself, on their way, Ananda asked an old farmer, "How far is the town? How long is it going to take?" And the old farmer said, "Not very far. Don't be worried. It is just 2 miles at the most, and you will reach." Buddha smiled. The old farmer smiled. Ananda could not understand what is going on. 2 miles had passed. There was no town yet, and they were more tired. An old woman was collecting wood, and Ananda asked her, "How far is the town? How long is it going to take?" And she said, "Not more than 2 miles. You have already reached. Don't be worried. Just 2 miles more." Buddha laughed. The old woman laughed. And Ananda looked at both. What is this laughter? What is going on? He wondered. And after 2 miles still there was no town. On the way he asked one more person, and again the same question and the same answer. Just 2 miles more. And yet the town was nowhere to be seen. Finally, Ananda dropped his bag and said, "I am not going to move anymore. I am so tired, and it seems we are never going to cross these 2 miles. 3 times we believed, but one question arises in my mind continuously." Living with Buddha for 40 years, he had learned how to live with such a man, not to ask him unnecessary questions. But still he said, "Now, if it is unnecessary or necessary, I don't care. One thing you have to tell me, why were you laughing when that old man said 2 miles, just 2 miles, you have not to go more than that?" And again you laughed with that old woman, and she also smiled. And again with the third person, the same thing happened. What was this laughter? What was transpiring between you people? You don't know them, they don't know you. Buddha said, "Ananda, you don't know. I know, because this is all that I have been doing my whole life. Whenever any of my disciples asks, 'How far?' I say, 'Just 2 miles.'" Ananda bowed, touched the feet of the master, and said, "O master, please explain further." Buddha took Ananda's hand in his hand and said, "People finally reach, but if from the very beginning you tell them 15 miles, they will drop then and there. But by 2 miles and 2 miles, they will pass 200 miles." And I laughed at those people because I know this village. I have visited this village. I know that the town is not 2 miles away from this village. It is more than 20 miles. But I kept quiet because you were so eager to know how far it was. I knew that we were not going to make it. But what was the harm? You could ask them, and these people are compassionate people. They were not lying, they were simply encouraging you. The first old man pushed you 2 miles, the second old woman pushed you 2 miles, the third man also pushed you 2 miles. You just needed a few more people and you would reach the town. And now you have dropped your bag. It is okay. We can stay here under this big tree. Tomorrow we can again start our journey. And remember, the town is just 2 miles away. The wise is aware. The wise is perfectly aware that the inquirer is not the self but the mind. And the mind can't stand the truth, it can't stand. The mind will fall into depression, and since the inquirer is still ruled by the mind, he or she too will fall into depression. The wise is compassionate. The wise knows how to deal with the mind of others because he himself has dealt with the mind of his. Only that person can deal with the darkness of other person who has dealt with his own darkness. The wise, the enlightened masters have dealt with their darkness. They have risen above their mind. They have attained self realization. And so they are perfectly aware of how to deal with the mind of others. And that is what the Buddha says to Ananda. This is all that I have been doing my whole life. Whenever any of my disciples ask, "How far?" I say, "Just 2 miles." How beautiful is this and how deeply insightful. When you become impatient, remember it is not you, it is your mind. Silence your mind. Remind yourself, not much, just 2 miles. And you will be surprised that by walking every 2 miles, you have come so far. You have been able to stand the storm of your life, the difficult times of your life, the challenging times of your life by simply believing that the journey of waiting is not much long but just 2 miles. And one day the destination is met. Your dreams are fulfilled, your prayers are answered. It all starts with 2 miles. Next time your mind becomes impatient, remember to remind your mind that it is not going to take much longer but just 2 miles. Happiness comes through taming the mind. Without taming the mind, there is no way to be happy. The highest nobility lies in taming your mind. You have to take control of your mind. And that is possible when you realize that you are not the mind. Always remember, you are not the mind. You are just the driver of the mind. So it is you who should drive your mind. It is not the mind who should drive you. You see, the mind is the world, and no mind is freedom from the world. It is your mind that creates your world. Your mind is your world. Bhagavan Raman Maharshi says, just as a spider emits the thread of a web from within and withdraws it again into itself, in the same way, the mind projects the world from within itself and later reabsorbs it into itself. How beautiful is this and how deep. The only way to overcome the mind is to tame your mind. The mind is a beautiful servant. Mind can become an asset if the mind becomes your slave. But the same mind, if becomes your master, then you end up inviting many miseries in your life. You are not getting a job. You are unable to find a marriage partner. You are unable to find success if the mind is ruling you. You will end up with many disappointments and disturbances. If you are ruling over your mind, if you have tamed your mind, then no matter how difficult the journey of your life is, you always find yourself at peace. There is no one and nothing that can ever disturb you. You remain unmoved, undisturbed, and untouched by any difficulties or hurdles. And it is this calmness that enables you to deal with every situation in a more effective way than otherwise. Calmness is the cradle of power, and this power comes to you when you become the master of your mind. Your mind is your instrument. Learn to be its master and not its slave. The sooner you master your mind, the sooner you master yourself. When you become the master of your mind, you become the master of everything. Tantra or Tantric is nothing but the art to master your mind. Master your mind and recreate your reality. Self-discipline begins with the mastery of your thoughts. Control what you think, and then you can control what you do. But this controlling of thoughts should not be mechanical, rather, it should be spiritual. And that is only possible when you meditate. When you are searching for a job, when you are searching for a partner, when you are searching for a house, when you are searching for your lost beloved ones, when you are waiting for promotion, you are always found engrossed with one nagging question: how long is it going to take? The mind is always in a rush. The mind is unable to wait for long. The more is the wait, the more comes the depression. But the question is, who is getting depressed? Yourself or the mind? It is the mind. The mind is always in control. It controls you, and so whatever the mind goes through, you also go through. Basically, you are not the mind, you are beyond mind. You are that which is yet to be discovered, yet to be realized. Beyond mind, there is an awareness that is intrinsic, that is not given to you by the outside and is not an idea, and there is no experiment up to now that has found any center in the brain which corresponds to awareness. The mind is impatient. The mind is always in rush. The mind drives you crazy. You have to take control of your mind. Remember, the mind is always wandering. You are not the mind. You have to steal the mind. Unless the mind becomes still, there is no real progress. There is no real happiness. There is no real life. The key to your success is in these two words: faith and patience. Shraddha or Saburi, says Sai Baba. Purity, patience are the essentials to success, and above all, be patient because good things take time. Meditate.